And we are live. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for waiting around, guys.
We are late, but it's all my fault. So apologies to our audience.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get it on.
I'm excited to be here. I'm super excited to chat with you guys because I missed the last live stream. So I really wanted to catch up with you. Now, I want to ask our audience, am I coming out with background noise? Because I could not, these were not working for some reason. So if I am, let me know.
Yeah, you sound fine from here. I'm not getting any feedback.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to welcome to the live stream. We're going to do what we always do, our rounds of introductions. So I'm going to start with the person I have to my left, right on the screen, Paul.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
First?
Sure. So my name is Paul. I host the Dev Runner channel on YouTube. I'm the Dev Runner on Instagram. I am a running coach and a guy who likes to push his luck with speed. You know, I'll post about anything that's on my mind on my channel as long as it has something to do with running. Let's leave it there.
And you are training for very hefty goals.
Yeah, I'm training for, I've been training for, I'm 10 or 11 weeks into a 13-week cycle right now. I'm 2.5 weeks, less than 2.5 weeks away from the Tobacco Road Marathon in Cary, North Carolina. And this is sort of hopefully a revenge marathon. I'm going to try to hit 2 hours and 45 minutes. We shall see. It all depends on the weather, I think.
Hopefully it's not too hot.
Exactly. The colder, the better. I don't mind freezing.
The colder, the better. Yeah, for a marathon. Now we're going here.
Hi.
Heather?
Hi, I'm Heather. All of my social media and everything is under the name Running Geek Girl. And let's see, I am a mid to back of the pack runner. I am not a fast runner. I am a very determined runner, though, and I have just finished a couple of marathons for the first time, and now I am pushing myself a little further by training for my first 50K. So that's in 5 weeks.
Very cool.
Very good. I am super excited to follow you on your journey, obviously, because that's something I aspire to do at some point. I have other goals before. I would love to do an ultra trail run. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you go trail, you never go back.
I was going to say, that's a problem. That's why I'm holding. Okay, now it's your turn, Ryan.
Yeah. Holy crap, is this loud? I'm Rosser from Rosser Runs. I am an ultra runner. I do distance. I'm mid to the back of the pack. So I like elevation, mountain type stuff. If you see me looking around crazy, it's not my bipolar. I have a new dog. So, and I don't know if he's tearing shit up or what. So like, I'm gonna look. And if I disappear because I'm chasing him. So, but yeah, my channel, Russell Runs on all social media, like TikTok and Instagram, biting my chair. And right now I'm injured, but I'm slowly getting back into the game. And I have a 100K in June that if I don't start progressing forward, I'm not going to be able to do. So I'm starting to freak out a little bit. But once things start to progress, I'm going to start dumping some long form on the channel. I slowed down some of the videos, but I'm made an additional channel just for shorts and vertical form. So when you go to my main channel, it'll just be strictly horizontal stuff. And then I'm going to do a little bit more vlogging and like short stuff on the shorts channel. So to separate that stuff. So that's what's going on in my YouTube world. So
I'll put the links in the description box. So for me, Susie, I run things. I run things on YouTube, and then I run things on Twitter and Instagram because I run things was taken in she's not. There's another woman who actually thinks that she's not posting. So I'm hoping to, every so often I check just to see if I can take back.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wish Instagram would just, send them a note or something saying, "Hey, you're not going to use it." And right now I am training for the Brooklyn Half Marathon with a stop. And I say stop, I'm going to run the Atlantic City Half Marathon April 3rd. So I have one half on April 3rd and another one May 21st. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 races. And then, I'm hoping to run another marathon. I'm hoping to be able to run Philadelphia at the end of November, end of the year. So
I would like to do that one.
Which I'm looking at doing the half marathon in Philadelphia
the half,
this year.
the half is the day before. Like
Mhm.
the half is Saturday, and I think they have, not sure, but they have a challenge, sort of like the Disney races, where you if you run all of them, they give you like these extra medals, extra T-shirts. So I think they have an 8K the morning of the half, but earlier or something. So they have 3 races, I believe.
I would
That's
like
really
that.
cool.
I would like to.
I love them.
Yeah, that would be cool to do all 3 in one shot.
I love the fact that they separate the full and the half to different days. After my last race experience, it's like if we can keep everybody in the, away from each other, the happier I am.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool trail races that are like 50K one day, 50 miles the next day, and special swag and bragging rights and stuff. That's something that I'm interested in. If you're gonna do something dumb, might as well like go all out,
Right.
So,
So
Susie, I've got a question for you, if you don't mind my asking, just because I don't want
No,
to
go
forget.
ahead.
But you were just mentioning that you were looking at running the Atlantic City Half Marathon. Is that because I was looking at fall marathons for way later this year, and I was looking at the Atlantic City Full, and it looks like an amazing course. Like is the half run like on the boardwalk as well?
flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually am looking at the Atlantic City full marathon because I think the weather has potential to be really nice. It's completely flat. It's all by the ocean, so it just does like a loop. And I think, I could, well, crossing fingers, if I don't get injured, if I continue running well, that's the one that I would utilize to try and qualify for Boston.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, maybe we'll meet there. Who knows? Because I'm working
I
with
would
my
have
wife
to
to
see
go.
how things progress. Once I ran the Brooklyn half, we'll see.
Cool.
I mean, you know how this goes. It's all up in the air, and you might be like super trained, and you think you're gonna get there, and then you don't. So
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah.
Every race.
Do you feel so? This is a question I have for you, Paul. Do you feel you're better prepared for this one? Like, is there a difference in between your training, how it's going now, and how the other training for the prior marathon was going?
It's funny that you asked that question because I was just giving some good thought to that yesterday. And the one thing I can say for sure, I think overall I am not as well prepared for this one. And
really?
And that's only because it's like 12, 13 weeks that I had this time. And it was like I started this whole training cycle in very late December. I didn't have enough time to just rest after the last one was over. And then when I did start this training cycle, I was sick as a dog.
Oh, that's true.
And so I couldn't max out. And just the fact that it's a shorter cycle means your body just doesn't get into as much of a groove. You're kind of pushing things along a little bit too quickly. But the one thing that I can say after the last 2 track days that I've had, the last 2 Tuesdays, I'm my top end speed this time, I don't know how or why, but I'm way faster. but that doesn't mean way faster over huge distances. It means I could give you a really fast 5K right now. I don't know if that's going to translate into anything for marathon day. We'll see.
I have to say I've been following your journey. Obviously, I mean, I'm
I appreciate that.
I'm a huge fan of your channel, and I appreciate how hard you grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like consistent grind. You never have excuses. I've never. I don't think
I've got a
I've
million
ever-
excuses. I just don't get into them. I guess is the difference.
I always see you working so hard. It's so I don't know. It motivates me to get out there as well.
Yeah, I don't know how it comes across to people, like in my videos, my weekly sort of catch-up vlogs, but my motivation is like fear. It's just driven by pure fear of blowing it so badly. Last time I had an excuse because the weather was bad, but this time, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fear of embarrassment? Is that what you're?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I put it all out there. I learned from other channels, other YouTubers who I really admire because they literally put it all out there. They put all their hopes and dreams and fears out there. And after I watched a couple of other people do that and then sort of face plant, I was like, well, if they can face plant, I'm allowed to face plant too. So, I just decided I was just going to put it out there. And if I fail, I fail. It's like, we're all humans. So
when I started running, excuse me, I had like a running partner. We ran a lot and everything was Strava'd. And we were really hell bent on like the numbers. And then like on Strava, similar to any other social media, like following everybody. And I know I spoke about this before, but like I always compared myself to everybody, thinking that I did a great job. And like I ran 20 miles today and somebody else ran 30. So I was like, damn it, So I learned through the process that like nobody truly cares what the hell you do. If I do 3 miles or 30 miles or at 5-minute pace, this dog is killing me. At 5-minute pace or 5-minute pace, nobody really. Yeah, he's sitting here like just grabbing my hand and stuff. Nobody like truly cares. It's you against you. And once I was able to digest that, it took very, very long time. That life became a lot easier for me with running because I do have a lot of friends that like follow everything that I do, and like we like make fun of each other and stuff like that, which is really cool. But like nobody truly cares if I'm training for this 100K, which means a lot to me. And last year, like I trained very hard for it, and the weather just melted my brain, and I accepted that. And during the race, I was not justifying it, but it's like people are just happy for me being happy. If I started the race or not, nobody truly cares. They'll be like, oh, that's great or that sucks, but figuring out that like it's all up here on an individual level. So like that's how I got around the fear or fear of embarrassment, because nobody truly cares except for yourself. Everybody wants to back you up, but like nobody's gonna beat you up or make fun of you unless you're your friends. That's what I do, is we make fun of each other no matter what.
Exactly. I always say that people who love you are going to love you the same. It doesn't matter what you do. Like my husband, my son, my good friends, they love me anyway. So it doesn't matter if I bunk on a marathon or I do really poorly. They would be worried about me, my well-being, but they don't. Some of them don't even have a notion. I mean, I tell my husband right now, I ran this morning at blah, 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 blah. He goes through these, year, goes out the other year, and doesn't get processed. He doesn't know.
My kids are probably the only critics that truly say things and mean it. Like, you suck. You train for 8 months or whatever, and you can't fit. And it's like, shut up.
Teenagers are,
I'm like, that's a life lesson in life when you're an adult. Like, you're gonna work your hardest and still get punched in the head once in a while, So
the best was earlier this month when I was really sick, and of course my 5-year-old has to pull out her little doctor kit and take care of me and everything. And she puts her hand on my head and she goes, "This does not look good. I think you ran too much." Anytime I'm not feeling good, she's like, "Did you run too much?"
That's so sweet, though, that she can make the connection between, she just worked herself out.
You look like death after your runs and when you're actually dying,
Well, Heather was really sick, so
I was
It was
glad
not
to see
fun.
your last video, Heather. I was really happy to see you out on the roads again. That was awesome.
Oh, thanks. I'm just glad to be outside.
It just sucks being sick.
Oh yeah.
And if it lasts long enough, it just takes, all the will out of you. It just makes you so, especially for us who like being out there, people who are active and want to be outside the house. Because, to be honest, many people are content inside their own house. They don't need to go out there, but we do like going out. So if you can't be outside, you're miserable, number one, because you're sick, and number two, because you can't do the thing you love. One of the things you love most.
And see, I don't get sick that often, but when I do, I get really sick.
When I talk to my friends that when I'm out Mother Nature on trails and stuff, that's like going to church for me. So like when I'm out there, it's very rejuvenating and stuff like that. So like I'm an extrovert that lives in an introverted world, which I adapted well. I don't mind being home by myself, but like I'd rather be out with Mother Nature, playing and skipping around in the woods. So.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Brian, that like I completely agree with you as far as being out in nature. Even though I'm not a trail guy, just getting outside. Period. As long as I'm not like walking along the road where all the factories are near me, then I appreciate being outside. But for me, the other religious experience in my life is always it's like being in nature and rock concerts. For some reason, that just does it for me. There's a deep connection there.
You can do any live show. Any type of live music. You can go from, instrumental to like rock, or I'll even go to country if it's live. Live music. I'm there for the energy, and same thing that you're talking about, the experience itself.
The people too, because you draw so much energy from the people.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like the whole communal thing. As soon as you get, whether it's 20 people or tens of thousands, all sort of vibing on the same thing, it just turns fun.
Yeah, we're social animals. I mean, we like being with other people. Yeah.
So I want to bounce something off you guys. Sorry, Susie, I'm jumping all over you. I just wanted to bounce a question back towards you three guys. I was just kind of wondering, I wanted to get some perspective on my current situation by talking to you guys and asking, like, when you guys come off of one training cycle, if you've ever gone from one directly into another one. How do you feel about that? Do you generally come out the other side of that second cycle feeling pumped, or kind of like you wish you hadn't done that second cycle?
Well, I set up my schedule throughout the whole year. So I have my races or my adventures or whatever set up usually for my summertime because I'm a warm weather person. Excuse me. So like April every year, I usually do like a 50 miler, and then June is usually that 100K. In July, like I do 100 miles to 150 miler, and in August is usually like a trail thing. So like I span that out amongst, several different months to where it's one continuous rolling cycle. And then the winter off season is just me doing dumb shit and like getting fat usually and like recovering. And then like I start the cycle all over. I don't completely shut off in the winter for the most part, but like it's a continuous cycle. I'm always in training, even if I'm at work and getting punished. That's mental training, so, and I still move forward with everything, but I don't break down my training as aggressively as I see that you marathoners and half marathoners do. You really have things broken down to like, Tuesday, I'm going to be hitting this pace and doing this. Mine is usually, I want to hit this type of elevation for the week and this type of mileage for the week. And then I go off of like feel. So because if I'm hitting a trail for training and it's a 10-mile trail each 10-mile trail is different for every trail. So one might have 800 feet of elevation, one might have 200 feet of elevation. So I go off of effort rather than actual pace. So training is set up a little bit differently for me. And once again, it's a continuous cycle. The fast twitch stuff that you guys do, which is beyond, it's mind blowing to me, because when I do it, I feel like I'm frying every muscle in my body, and it takes a lot more for me to recover. I think an actual marathon is harder than like 100K, unless you're doing 100K in the mountains, and it's like 25,000 feet of climb. It depends on terrain and stuff, but like for the most part, the marathon stuff, like because I've run several marathons and I've done well in them, but the next 4 or 5 days, like I can't get out of my chair. It's hard to go to the bathroom. Like it's with ultras, it's just for like a day or so, my legs are in so much pain I can't sleep, and my feet are hamburger. But like that's a little bit different than like the pain that I get from the fast twitch, constant burning, acid filled muscles repair.
It's probably the pounding too. I mean, running on asphalt is not obviously ideal. That's not
right.
Our bodies are not designed to.
Yeah.
I mean, our bodies, I think, throughout humanity, we're just not used to just continue, doing 26.2 miles on asphalt. It's much more natural to be out there, in the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good point. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure the cavemen didn't have too many paved roads.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I have like done one training plan and then started training for something else, but I've always had like 1 week of downtime, 1 or 2 weeks. I've never been like, you were so fast. That was like...
Yeah, I was all fired up by my massive failure that I was like, I dropped all plans. Like spring was supposed to be all about 5K, 10K half marathon, new PRs. And as soon as I blew that Kiel Island Marathon, I was like, okay, throw all that away. I'm going again.
So the way that I watch YouTube videos, full disclosure, sometimes I play the video, but I am with my aftershocks. I'm just walking around the house. So I have my phone somewhere and I keep doing stuff around the house. I was listening to you, Paul, when you said you were going to do the revenge marathon. I actually had to go downstairs to the kitchen and play it again. Like, did he just say that? I was like, is he really doing it?
I've been regretting it for 11 weeks, but yeah, I'm doing it.
Because that's, I mean, like fully. So I trained for New York City Marathon and I went like all out. Like I gave it my best, very best try. And then I did Disney, and you did something similar, Heather, because you did Little Rock, Arkansas, and then you did Disney. But training for Disney is not like training for any other marathon. Disney is a lot more relaxed. So
there's not too many people that are going to do Disney for time. You just go for the experience.
Right. So even though you need, at least I felt like I needed to know that I was going to do the distance. Mm-hmm. There was no like, I mean, I did speed work, but it was more because I enjoyed doing speed work. So I would, do a couple of sessions here and there. But like you, hardcore, I don't think I've ever done anything like that, Paul. We're declaring you crazy.
Oh, I know I am. So no shock there.
It's awesome to see your, you growing as a runner. So, and I'm excited with Heather because I think you have to be really brave to do anything. I mean, you have to be brave enough to do 26.2, which is a marathon. Anything over that, in my mind, like I really want to do it, but to me, it's just like, it doesn't even like compute. It's like when they tell you a hill is this elevation, you don't really know till you go through the hill how much elevation you're doing. To me, anything over 26.2 is just like I don't even know what you would feel. So I'm super excited to follow your journey, Heather.
Yeah, it was weird because like I kept mentioning it over the past like 6 months or so, and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, come on! If you can do a marathon, I promise you can do a 50K. I promise you can." You know, all these people who have done multiple ultras are like, "No, seriously, you could really do it." And I'm just like, I don't know. But then after Little Rock and then Disney, I was like, well, I know I've got 26.2 in me, and I kind of waffled for about 2 weeks and then went, okay, I just have to sign up. Okay. If I
Yep.
just sign up, it's like, even if I fail, I've at least tried to do it,
Yep.
and I've got the experience and I can try it again. I can back off to a 25 and then try a 50 again later. I mean, I've got all these options. And honestly, going from all of that, like almost a year of marathon training, and then switching to ultra training, totally different experience. And because like I said, for the first time I'm using an actual training plan that someone has set for me. It's through vert.run, and it's a trail running program that's been set up by Lucy Bartholomew. And there's a whole lot of it. There's like nothing, never mentions pace. It never mentions distance. It's, you're going to go and run 45 minutes today and it should feel like this. Or you need to go out on the trails today, spend an hour or 15 out there, make sure that you tackle a couple of hills. And she never says anything about you should cover this amount of miles or anything. It's just about forward movement. It's about just making sure that your brain gets around, I can endure for this amount of time. So it's been a really interesting learning curve, because for all this time that I have spent running, it's always been like, hit this pace for this many miles, on this day. And this is just a whole lot more of, let's just run by feel and make sure that we're out there for a long time. So it's been really different, and going from, it's kind of like one training extreme to a totally different training extreme. It's just kind of, it took a little while for my brain to catch up, because I'm like, am I supposed to be going fast? I don't know how fast I'm supposed to go. And then I posted on Instagram earlier that I was supposed to go for she said on the plan, she's like, you did a hill fartlek workout yesterday, so you're going to need to recover today. Keep it to 45 minutes. And she said, go so slow that you could belt a Beyonce song while you're out there running, and I did it. So I slowed it way down, and, a lot slower than I would normally do during a marathon training session. So a whole lot more slowly, and it just, I don't know, it felt good. I got out there. I still covered fairly good distance, over 45 minutes, and I wasn't dying by the end of it. So, I'm able to do that for a couple of days and then tackle a long run this weekend. So it's
awesome.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, you'll find, I know a lot of times with that mentality of just having fun, basically, with a generic game plan. And as I said, I'm not tied to the exact pace and second. I know certain training things like the 100K course, I go on that often because it's sort of kind of in my backyard. So
Right.
Huge advantage. I know there's certain times, like the first 17 miles is pretty intense. And I know a few times just on training, me vlogging and stuff, as I was getting towards the end, I was like, holy shit, I'm going faster than what my almost race pace is. And I'm still vlogging, and I'm more chilled because I don't think that I'm wasting the mental energy as much focusing on the details. I'm focusing more on the sunshine and rainbows around me. And I think the distraction there really puts things, your body, on a more natural autopilot. Because I know during race time, when I'm running that's how I noticed. Like I look at my watch, I'm like, holy shit, how can I vlog on this damn hill and not be out of breath? And now I'm doing race and I'm running my strategy and I'm like winded, and then it starts to cycle through your head and start freak out a little bit. You have to calm down, but like still, I think the training for ultra mentality isn't as I don't want to say as intense, but like as I said, your focal piece for your faster stuff is, I think, a lot more mental straining as well. So,
and I do think, because I have run with Heather, I have run with Brian, I haven't run with you, Paul. So you're next.
Yeah, I mean,
but when I
gotta
ran
do
with
it
you,
on
Brian,
You'll
you were so fast.
Paul from running behind him.
You were very fast, Brian, when I ran with you.
I was just happy to run with somebody. That's pure excitement. Like, yay!
I wasn't surprised, but I was like, shoot, I can't keep up with him. Like, we're gonna be talking.
I don't know how to run on flat ground.
Hello to everybody that's joining us in the chat.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Awesome. Hi, Gino. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then Dr. Andrew was here before. He's local to you, Heather.
He is, yeah.
He's in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I had a couple questions for you. Number one, if you, and you have to think about this, if you discovered the genie in the bottle, you came out of the bottle and said, I can grant you 3 wishes. Which 3 would you pick? And it has to be like something like tangible. Like you can't say get faster. No, it has to be very specific. And it has to be running related.
Man.
Which 3 would you pick? Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna go just because I think I got one.
Okay. Go ahead.
I would say I would like to be in the training shape that I'm in, like have the be at the training age that I'm at now, like 10 years in to running, but have 27 years pulled off my chronological age, even if it was just for a day. I want to see what would happen if I ever would have been good enough in my earlier days to
fight
really
your younger self.
to be, I mean, with the speed that you're trying, doing 2 hours 45 at your age,
I'm just wondering.
I can't imagine you could have qualified for the Olympics or something.
We at least get to the qualifying race. So I wonder if I could have run a 2:19 or a 2:18 back then. It's just one of those questions I'll never know.
Yeah. Okay, who wants to go next?
So are we? You're basically saying if we get a wish, what would we wish for related to running? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I would wish for an extra set of legs, and I'd be like a centaur.
That's awesome.
Would you replace them, or would you run with 4?
No, I'd be a centaur. I would try because they run 100 miles because that's how Western States started out as a horse race, and then the horse went lame and the guy ran in its place, and that's where Western States actually started for the 100-mile races. So, but it would just be really difficult to find pants. Thank you, Heather. The 9 o'clock show is totally different than the 7 o'clock show.
How about you, Heather?
Free running shoes for life.
Oh my God, that's a good one. I
could take that as a horse too. I would need extra shoes.
Because there's, a lot of money goes into the shoes. That's the keys that that and races that you put the most money into. I would wish for not being tired, because so many times I just run. I'm tired and I would like to be able to go out and run again. like running so much. I would love to be able to do it again.
So that's why you should do ultras, because you're always tired and you still have 40, 50 miles left. And you're like, I really like running too, but I have another 40 or 50 miles to climb a mountain, you know? So,
I would love to. So I was actually thinking about this today, as a matter of fact. I was like, so if I had to pick an ultra to do, which one would I pick? And I would love, I know Heather's going to say that she would love to do this too. I think. We've never talked about this, but I picture you saying, yes, I mean, like the Marathon des Sables, like through the desert.
Yes. I've read so much about that. I'm like, I gotta see this.
but what's the race?
I can send you the link. It's Marathon des Sables. Sables. It's run through the desert, and it's like 250 kilometers, I think. You stop, like you sleep overnight. They have the tent set up for you. You sleep.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you keep going. But it's just like through the desert. You go through, like, if there's a storm.
I would say that or UTMB would be another one.
UTMB is another one.
That would be my.
But for some reason, the desert just calls me.
How about Badwater 135 then?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
that's another one. Yeah,
because
that's short by comparison.
Well, yeah, but it could fit into your wheelhouse there because, excuse me, a lot of it is road. So like, most of it is road, but you're going through the desert.
But through the desert.
Yeah.
So it's a hot road.
Yeah, that's your shoes melt.
It's 140.
135.
135. Okay.
Yeah, Badwater 135. Yeah.
You kind of have to train yourself to run on the lines in the road to help save your shoes from melting.
Yeah. If you follow Sally McRae, the yellow runner, that's her baby. Like she wins that, and like I could listen to her on any podcast, and they should have like ringtones of her laugh. Like if you're familiar with who she is, she's very.
She was recently on. I don't know if you caught the one on Marathon Training Academy. She was on recently. It was all about sort of her family background. Boy, what a story! I mean, just
she has a good story. Yeah.
And
she's really good with the heat training. Like she's a genius in her field. And she, back in the day when she was picked up by Nike, they were kind of like, I might be wrong with the story a little bit, but because of her muscle structure, that she people were saying that she's too big for a female, like muscular wise, and she's like, I don't care, like I'm doing it the right way, and I think that opened up a lot of eyes for males and female to where like she does a lot of strength and conditioning, like cross training type stuff. So not like CrossFit, but she has her own. She does a lot of, extra stuff to support the joints and bones and stuff, things that most of us don't do. And that's why we shatter into pieces. She doesn't.
Yeah. So Renee, that's actually how you pronounce her name. She's asking if you could repeat her name.
Oh, Sally McRae is who we're talking about.
Oh, Sally McRae, yes. And that's the yellow runner.
Okay.
Yeah, the yellow runner. And the yellow runner is symbolic of stuff from her past with her mom passing and things like that. So huge story. Once you get hooked on Sally, you'll figure things out.
And I do think that there's a lot of women in trail running, like long distance, that are doing really well. I interviewed my podcast like 2020, like almost 2 years ago. I interviewed Emma Roca, and she said that she did her thesis, like her PhD research in like biology of like the female and the male body. So she said that women have more resistance for that type of, like, they endure more.
Yes, the bodies
because the bodies have store more fat and
and so plus they distribute heat better, and they have a better mindset to where they could develop a plan and stick to it when a guy just destroys himself.
I loved in that interview when she kept saying, "I know a lot of men will not like my words, but it's true."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she was.
Saying, "I know a lot of men."
Yeah, and there's there's enough women out there. I think they're a role model for the rest of us that have done it. Like they're so strong in the trail running, arena. That
Yeah, no doubt
I would
about it.
definitely love to do one of these races. I would love to do like an event. Well, I have so many things on my to-do list. I'm going to run out of life before I get to. But I would love to do one of those adventure races in which you're like, like you have to go in a kayak and like this, and then jump in the water and swim in the cold water, and then
then
go
mountain
Sure.
hiking
back
and
into
then
the desert. I would love to do those things. Yeah. And just
I'm
see.
surprised you haven't jumped into a triathlon, Susan.
yeah.
So what's holding me back? I would love to do a triathlon, but what's holding me back is the bike. Because a good bike is $1,000. It's like, how into it am I going to be? Because we think running is an expensive sport, but you can buy the shoes and everything. I mean, you can, you can run on a budget. But with triathlon, you need to have a bike of a certain, standard.
Mhm.
So that's what's happening.
I'm thinking the same thing, that running is too expensive for me already. Why would I want to introduce other things that I can't afford? And then like an Ironman triathlon, like swimming, I could swim, but not with a bunch of people grabbing at my legs in open water. And like I could bike and I could run, but if swimming is the first thing, like try throwing up after your first event and then hopping on a bike or something like that. That sounds really terrible to me. So I don't go that far.
I would
can't
love to
imagine.
do one though, but the bike is what stops me. Is that like, do I want to do it? I have a friend actually who did it. He doesn't. He runs occasionally. He signed up for the New Jersey triathlon, which is run on a lake that I don't know that I would recommend anyone put a foot on it, because it's like really, it's just not
just toxic waste or what?
He did well, actually. He did it with like a recreational bike. Like he had his bike waiting for him, and it was just a normal bike. So
Wait, you could run marathons in regular shoes as well. You don't need the best equipment. It's just the wear and tear on the body if you don't have the right equipment. Like you could do things barefoot. Some people do because that's what they prefer. But like if you have the proper shoes to meet your body, like there's less wear and tear. So same thing with a bike. I assume, I'm not a huge biker, but like if you have a pimped out bike that's made for what you're doing, to be less wear and tear on the system. If you had a Huffy bike with a basket and a flag in the back with a bell on it, and you're doing 100 miles on it, you'd still be able to do it, but I think you would be hurting a lot more.
You can't sit for 3 days, probably.
I'd have to run that up.
Your tooth is not going to be happy.
For sure.
All those things like really, I don't know, it's just really call me, like one of these, I would love to do all those things. Yeah. So now I have another question for you, because I genuinely don't know this. Were you athletic when you were growing up? That's a no. Okay, you go first.
Not at all.
Were you the dungeon master?
I was scrawny and sickly. I had a ton of ear infections when I was really, really young, which left me almost completely deaf until about first grade or so. So a lot of time inside. I was a reader, go
Me
through
too.
stacks of books. and that was my fun. I would read, and got into acting when I was around 5 or 6, and so theater was my sport. And they for some reason decided I needed to be on the track team in junior high just because I could sort of sprint short distances because I didn't weigh anything. So but that was cutting into my my rehearsal time for theater, so I couldn't do that. But that's about it. I really did not do anything athletic until I guess about 5 or 6 years ago when I started running.
Good for you.
That's really
How about
cool.
you guys, Ryan?
Yeah, I was captain of everything that I did. I have school records and shit like that. Yeah, I'm super cool. Look where it got me. But like, yeah, same thing. Like after high school, when I went in the military, I was in the top 3 out of like 650. I was like one of the top PT people. I was in martial arts for like a really long time, like MMA and stuff. And then after, I don't know, I went through, watched the channel, addiction issues, alcoholism, stupid shit like that fried my brain and my body. And once I hit like mid 30s or so, and I wanted to get like healthy, I guess. That's when I started running. I was like 225 pounds or so. And that's when I got back into running. And now I'm an athletic adult with many physical and mental issues now. But back in the day, I definitely could hold my own. Not now, though.
I think Heather Jurgensen calls it adult onset running.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And you'd be surprised how many people actually.
Just gonna say the running category itself, like people our age, I know is like the biggest growth category, and I know in ultra running because that's ultra running. A lot of people had previous mental issues or addictions or some type of things that they're trying to get away, and they were maybe athletic or never tried it and found out that this is a good thing, that like I could actually do this. And like it's our age that's really blowing up the market, I think.
Yeah. It's so
if you
cool
look at
because
this, if you look at the signing of any race, the category of like 40 to 50 is the largest one always. Especially the longest distance. Like if you do 5Ks, that tends to there's a younger crowd there. But as soon as you hit half marathon, it's like everybody's like in their 40s.
Yeah, because I think it takes a different mindset. You have to be a lot more patient. I think once you get sort of a little, you just learn to kind of calm down and say, okay, this is going to take a while.
You kind of had to have a plan, what you're going to do, when you're going to fuel.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you also have a lot more responsibilities, in life. So if you really want it, you have to plan for it. Like,
good point. Good point.
I put stuff on my schedule as if I had like a doctor's appointment. As a matter of fact, I might reschedule a doctor's appointment and never reschedule a run. It's like, I keep changing.
That's a really good point, because a lot of people that I talk to, and like, of course, running fits into every conversation that I have, but they'll say stuff like, well, I don't have time for that. And well, if it's a passion, you'll find time for it. Like if you are into books, like I'm sure you don't have time to read books, but you still read books, right? I'm sure you're on TikTok 1 million hours a day, or scrolling social. Like you have time if you are passionate and want something. I'm a visual person, and I put everything on a calendar, like on a whiteboard, and like so I could scratch it off, and I'm holding myself accountable. But yeah, mental game.
Right. And I want to know Paul's answer to if you were athletic when you were.
Not really.
Look at the
Yeah, I mean, no.
It didn't happen.
No. You know, I still do remember bits and pieces of my childhood. No, I kind of grew up in upstate New York, like, you know, like surrounded by woods and mountains and hills and trails and all that kind of stuff. So you think I would have turned out to be an ultra runner, but no, basically, I mean, when I was a kid growing up, it was kind of, we played, all the kids on the block would get together, like we lived on the side of a mountain kind of thing. So everybody's sort of like, their house was like on a hill. And there was, right at the top of the hill, there was one flat stretch that went for like 200 feet on the road. And we'd all just get together and play kickball and soccer on that one flat part of the street. And so we were always active. We were out, like, you know, like this was the 70s. So like, you know, we went out the door in the morning and we came back for dinner and spent all those hours just running through the woods and chasing my dog and stuff. But as far as like organized sports, not at all. I mean, I played lacrosse in middle school, and that's about as close as I got to organized sports at all when I was a kid.
I was not athletic at all. Like, do you know, I don't know what they're called in English, that thing that you go with your head and you roll on the ground. What are those called? Somersault. I never, to this day, have never done one because I'm just not. And when I was growing up,
African cups, I think, is another.
I was completely like, I was so not flexible, not athletic, not fast, had no interest. So much so when I was in high school, my mom found a doctor, we're not going to tell anybody, but found a doctor that actually exempted me from doing physical education, saying that I had a misalignment in my knees that could actually, I could get like, it could like make my condition worse if I did physical education. So I got it, I was exempt from it. I think it was like 11th grade, because in 12th grade in Spain, you don't have gym. So it must have been 11th grade. So the last year I didn't do physical education.
So the day you graduated, you were cured of that though, correct?
Oh, and the funny thing is, like, after that, I didn't feel the pressure on me, because it was that pressure of like, I knew, and it was not my perception. I knew that I was the worst in gym class. I was the one that was not like agile. I could not do the rope thing up. I just wasn't. So, and I didn't have the time to develop those skills. It was not like you have enough time, like everybody was going faster than I was. But once it was in my own terms, I signed up for a gym. I was like, okay, now I can actually decide my own pace. So that's when really, like, when I started going to college is when I like signed up for gym, and then I found people that would have the same kind of, they were telling me some stories like, I'm so not athletic, like I can't do this, and then they would just try. And so it's funny how that works.
Yeah.
I'm sure if my gym teacher saw me today, especially the one from elementary school, he would be really surprised.
There's many ultras that I've been in, like, of course 50K and up because they're ultras, but that there are people that are running that are ahead of me that like mentally you are like, how are you running? You might be like 300 pounds. You know, there's a couple people that were like 7 feet, you know, and there's some people that are hunchback, you know, because all shapes and sizes and ages, and like, how is that possible? So when people say that they're not athletic, I think it's could be almost like a mental stigma, because high school wise, you have all that peer pressure in front of everybody. Running is trained as a punishment. If you can't do something, go run a lap. So there's that negative connotation, I think, to the running, to where if it was taught in a more healthy, spiritual way, like here, you could run a lap or meditate or something, you know, along that line, to set it up as a positive release, I think people that read books would still find some pleasure if it was set up in a more positive manner than what it actually is for the younger generation. And I know, like my gym classes, I didn't have the rope climb, and like I didn't have lacrosse. I had like the main sports like football and basketball and baseball and stuff like that. But gym classes were organized chaos at times. Here's what we want to do: go out and have a good time and don't hurt each other. So like I would take on like I went to Votech and I was president of my class as well, so I was neutral to everybody, and I would take everybody that nobody wanted basically, and I'd be like, all right, we're team awesome and we're going to be awesome. And I'd have guys that were in boots with long hair down to their butts, with an Iron Maiden shirt on, and they'd be on my badminton team and we'd win. And they'd be like, people were like, holy shit, how did you get him to play? And it's like, I don't know, man, we're just having fun, like don't make a big deal about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem with sports in school is that you have so many standards that you're supposed to be meeting, and it's totally different when you're an adult and you get to decide what those standards are.
Right. It's the perception. Beauty's in the eye of the beer holder, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, at that age, when you're that young, it's like, just give a crowd of kids a reason to make fun of you, and they'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the sports in general. Who's the host now? I think sports in general.
We're the host.
Within high school, I think is I think could be set up a little bit differently, and I don't think that the adult world notices that they're missing opportunities there, because like if you told any high school we're getting rid of your football team, they would freak out, like, oh, or because like that's like a big to do. But like, why don't you make that mentality as an educational mentality for physical activity? And I think if they broke it down into a different mindset, that a lot more people would be a little bit more interested in being, I don't know, active, I guess. Because I see America in general, that we are like fast food oriented people, and at times we're educated in ease, and the corporate man makes the big dollar off of it, when if we educated ourselves a little bit differently, I think we would all be happier and a little bit more active and less issues mentally and physically.
You're getting so close to issues that I'm going to do my best not to get political.
Yeah. I'm definitely not. I don't want. I'm not a political person. I'm not left or right. No, I just want the world to burn.
We have so much in common.
Coming from a military standpoint, like I know the background of the political game and how it affects like the world economy, and we're just little people on the bottom end of the totem pole, so us bitching ain't gonna do too much. I just want to promote positivity and educate the people around me and my friends and my kids and stuff to just do the right thing and don't be an asshole, and life will be better for everybody.
There's lots of ways to be active, and if one thing is not bringing you joy, then go find something else.
Agreed. Oh, we have a newcomer coming in. There she is.
Oh, hi. Who are you?
I just had a technical difficulty.
My whole life has that disclaimer on it.
You went sideways and then you disappeared.
I know, and now I can't hardly hear you. I'm in a different position.
Get y'all hooked up in there.
Hey.
All right, now,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We were talking some shit about you too while you were gone.
We're plotting a rebellion at this point.
That's what it is. I'm working it so hard that I think that's what it is.
So you went away for 2 minutes, Susie, and we're planning a governmental takeover and change around here.
My
Because I
manifesto
can't
will
hardly
be
hear
online
you.
shortly.
I don't know why.
It's not our fault if they take you off YouTube.
I know. What's going on with my phone?
You've heard it first, right here.
Now I got you. Okay, now I can hear you. Okay.
Hi. How's it
Yep.
going?
We could see and hear you perfectly, Susie.
I was like,
Just play along.
I could not hear you. Like I could see your lips. What are they talking?
Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it.
I was like, I'm gonna pretend that.
Things almost went off the rails, but we brought it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why was it waiting?
Everything was fine. That's pretty good. Now we were just talking about we continued on what we were talking about before with sports in high school and education and stuff like that through sports. Yeah, good times.
Yeah. I never thought that I could. Running to me was one of the. I used to joke saying, "If you see me running, it's because someone's going after me, so you better run too." I always thought there was something, because you see people running and generally they look happy. Like I always picture these people running. I don't know, like there's gotta be something to it, because people run and people run a lot. Like you see them running around your neighborhood. And so that's when I started like, there's something to this. There's, people do it and they keep doing it. So, but no, to me, running was kind of an accident. So, but when I signed up, this is before, I had these technical issues. When I signed up in college at the gym, I remember I went to a step class, one of those, it was very typical in the 90s, the steps, you would go to step and then, it was like aerobic, but choreographed.
Jazzercising?
Yeah. So I arrived.
Your leg warmers were on?
I grabbed my step and I get there and I was so like self-conscious. I had bought like this new outfit and I looked like really good and in these new shoes, like with my step there. I'm like, I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna stay at the back. And I'll never forget it. We became really good friends, but she was this girl was bigger than the other girls. So I was like, okay, I am awful. I know that this has potential to be completely like really backfire on me. So I'm just gonna stay next to her because she's gonna be like me, like she's not gonna be coordinated. So I'm just gonna stay next to her. So I stay there, and she was killing it. She was so coordinated, jumping and going up and down, and like she was so agile. I was like, oh my god! Like I felt so. I don't know. For a moment, I was scared. I was like, this is just like. I'm never gonna get to do anything in this class. And I was so overwhelmed that first class, and then we became really good friends. Like after that, we always like kind of gravitated towards each other. Like we kind of situated ourselves next to each other. But yeah, that was my first experience. I was like, I'm just gonna be here next to her because it's not gonna look as bad if I'm next to her. Like stupid assumptions we do even as adults.
Yeah. Judging a book by its cover.
I'm not proud of it. I have to say, I'm just going to be next to her because, no one's going to see me. No, I mean, it was very evident that I was the new one. She got it nailed down. Yeah. So then at the end of the class, I'm like, how long have you been coming to this? I need to know, like, how long is it going to take me to get to your level?
She's like, this is my first class.
No, she had been for a while. Yeah. But she was so like, she was one of, it was a large class and she was one of the top people. Yeah. She was great. So good, guys. We're actually been talking for more than an hour.
Most of us been streaming for more than an hour too. Some of us weren't. Damn it! Jesus, this crowd is terrible.
Is this thing on?
Damn it! You should see me in real life. I'm even worse.
Are we gonna
Some
see
of
your,
us have been here the whole time.
Maybe I should have said it that way. Yes, that was way better. Better
are we
delivery.
gonna see your doggy? Can you grab him? And
Yeah, remember Pacer. Where is he?
Oh,
my God!
so cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a Shepherd Husky mix, and I named him Pacer. So he's gonna.
that's a great name. Are you
Yeah,
gonna take him to the trails?
Yes, he's gonna be my new running partner, and he does not know what he's in for. So still learning basics, but once I get off the injury list, I've been doing 2 miles in the morning and 2 miles at night with him, just because my injury is like in a hernia location, but it's not a hernia, so it's been difficult. I haven't run in like 60 days, but this past week I've run 5 days in a row, like 2 miles and 2 miles with him. So road only, but I'm slowly getting back in the feel of things. Still hurting a little bit, but once that happens, the dude's done for, because he's gonna be on trails for like every weekend for like a 2020, Like
Well, he's
I
still
already
pup,
have,
so he's gonna love it.
yeah, he wants to run. I can tell, like he's really wants to. I have like a certain harnesses that he's gonna carry his own shit with him, like water and food and stuff. So like I got it all ready to go.
That's cool.
He's done.
The water's the most important thing. I used to run with Annie before she had her surgeries. So I don't run with her anymore, even though they gave her the clear. The doctor said she could run, but I just don't.
Annie's so sweet.
Oh, she is. She is. She's getting old though. She's 8, and she's like getting like old people. She has her little things in her personality that is like, I don't know that I like this aspect of your personality, sweetie.
I loved in your video when you were singing to her and she sits down and just crosses her paws like, she'll be done soon.
Oh my God. She's adorable. I mean, she's such a sweet dog.
Aww.
Yeah.
My
She's-
8-year-old boy right there.
Aww.
Oh my God. So what's the name of your dog, Paul?
That's Calvin.
Oh,
Calvin, the big chocolate lab. There he is. I can't get him on
Hi.
camera for some reason. There he is.
he's so
Aw.
precious.
Big boy.
And labs are good dogs for running too. They have a lot of energy.
Oh boy, does he ever!
But does he have Paul's energy? Can you run like
Can he keep up
a
with
2-hour marathon? Can the dog run
I
that?
was going to say it's hard for a dog. I don't think there's many dogs that can keep up with like Paul's pace, number one. But even yours, Brian, I think you might outrun your dog.
Yeah. It'll be just like a human. I would build him up and just out there for a good time. Nobody cares if he's doing a certain pace.
Right. Yeah, I think if you do like a long distance and you go fast, you outrun your dog out there. Like a human, that's part of being human. We can run long distance and keep a good pace for you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you
Can
have
be
a
good
dog?
Paul? We have a cat.
Aw.
Yeah.
Are you a dog
Do
person?
you have 30 cats?
I am. We have my son would love if we had like 1 billion cats. But we had a dog. We got her the first year that we got married, and then she passed away like in late 2019, and my son was going on and on and on because he's always been obsessed with cats, going on and on about how he wanted a cat. And so one day we got a rescue cat for him. So now we have 1 cat.
I have to say, I love animals. So I grew up, as a matter of fact, at one point growing up, we lived in the city. We had a townhouse. So we were like in the corner, but it was all townhouses. We had 2 German Shepherds, 1 cat, 1 canary, and one of those big turtles. So I remember telling my dad, "Can we get an elephant? Like, and I was legit, I wanted us to get an elephant. I mean, I was like, and this was my dad's thinking, where would we put an elephant? And he was like, oh, we could put you know, like my brother and I, like, we could just push everything away in your bedroom. Maybe we could fit in there.
I heard the trunk storage with them is like pretty good though. Come on, Heather.
Yeah.
Come on now, Heather. Come on. No? Put that on.
Oh boy.
My kids hate me.
Good old dad jokes.
All dad jokes all the time.
It's my whole life. One big dad joke.
Well, guys, we're gonna just make the rounds again and just say good night. So let's start. I always try
That
to
guy.
Yeah, right. You go first.
Oh, well, hello. Thank you, everybody. Once again, Rasa from Rasa Runs. And hit me up on, we're all crashing and burning. I don't think I can see you guys. But I'm going to pretend like I do. There we go. So, like, I'm on all the social media accounts. I do from TikTok to YouTube, vertical and horizontal. Going to be training for 100K, which I'm sort of kind of in. But if that doesn't work, I'm going to be doing. Sounds like things are on fire back here. Looks like I'm going to be training for 150 miles in July. So check me out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rock and roll.
that's too many miles.
Well, I got to take care of the dog.
Okay, now you, Heather.
I'm Heather, and you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok under the name Running Geek Girl. I am currently training for my first 50K that's coming up at the first part of April. And then I've got other fun stuff coming up on my channel. I'm still continuing my Run the USA series, looking at races in different states. I've got more trail runs coming up. I've got some product reviews coming up. So lots more there. So you can find me. Susie, I'll have a link down below.
Yep, I'll put all the links in the description box.
Super cool.
Okay, Paul, you go next.
Hey, sure. I'm Paul. I am the Dev Runner on Instagram. I'm Dev Runner on YouTube. I'm 2.5 weeks away from attempting a fast marathon. Hopefully all will go well. Stay tuned. Check it all out. I don't know. I think that's it.
And I am Susie. I run things. I run things on YouTube, and I run things on Instagram and Twitter. And next time, who's hosting? Brian, you are.
Heather.
Me.
Oh,
Heather
Heather,
Zoom.
you're hosting. So next month, first Thursday in the month, Heather will be hosting in her channel.
Yay.
Yay! So thank you, everybody who joined us today. Happy running.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
See you, everybody.
See you soon.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.